boys and girls, welcome back to another video edition on how to pimp my HO slot car. Today we're going to have a look at how can I reduce the wobble on the rear axle in the chassis using mechanical tools, how to adjust it, how to minimize it. Stay tuned. Okay, so here we are trying to optimize our axle holes. I've got here a microscale X-Fix chassis, but it also works with a Tyco 440 or a Lifelike M or any chassis. You can pop, if it works, pop the axle out like this. Or it also works, of course, with any chassis like a 4-gear, Autoworld 4-gear chassis or X-Traction or an old Magna traction. They all work. The way they work, or the way we make it work, is with this tool from Scale Auto Engineering. It's a hole peener, an axle hole peener. Okay, now just to give you an idea on how this works, hang on, I think I flipped it in the wrong way. Yep, sounds better now. We're gonna have a look at the dyno. Give me a second to move you over here. So this is the microscale X-Fix chassis. We get a reading of 0.38 with 7 volts. If we switch to 12 volts, we get a reading of 94, 93, 95. Improving. Going up a little. So around 1. Okay. So we're going to improve those by peening the axle holes. So what we do is take the axle out again. Now, if we look at the axle hole here, you can see that there is the original axle hole. So what we're going to do now is we're going to flip that, or stick that through the axle hole here, and then start to press the material around the axle hole towards the middle of the axle to make the axle hole actually smaller. So if you look now, you see that around the axle hole here there is a circle pressed in by this tool. If we look at the other side where we haven't done it yet, there's nothing to be seen around here. So we're going to do it on the second side as well, because the wobble was on both sides. So again, pressing the axle hole with this tool. Give me a sec. Okay, now it's straight. Pressing it. So what we'll see is, yes, you see here around, this is also made smaller. Oh yes. And of course we're going to test it on the dyno. Just give me a second. So trying the, oops, need to take you with me, with the 7 volts. That's already slightly better. Let's have a look at the 12 volts. Oh yes. So you see, there is an improvement. And this helps you to make your car run more quiet, whether it's a drag car or it's a road race car. And of course, it also works with chassis where you cannot just pop pop out the axle, where you have to push out the axle. I did this here. So here you can see, oops, a slight ring. This comes from the factory. For the previous German chassis, I already did this side, this hole. So this is what it looks like after I worked on it with a press. So I'm going to show you on this side now, just to give you an idea on how it wobbles or doesn't wobble. Is on the side I worked on, that's where the brim is, there's hardly any movement, but on this side there is quite a lot of movement. So what I'll do is I'll just again stick that needle through the axle hole and start to tighten it. Now press it slightly, okay. Needs a little patience, needs a little practice, but you'll figure it out. Well, in case you made it too small, you can use like an X-Acto knife or something and just stretch it slowly wider. So we're gonna try it now. This side was the one I just worked on. There is no movement on the axle here, there is none, and runs very smooth. So this is the way to do it. Excellent tool, Scale Auto Engineering. You'll find a link in the text below. Thank you, see ya.